Colleagues, it's 9 p.m. Sebata. I'm just doing a quick video on one nugget. The markets are off today. They are not trading in the US because of the Independence Day holiday, some sort. Yeah, July 4th. So I'm just going to throw one nugget. And this nugget, I did not discover it. I got it from Eric Muat. And I just want to share it with you and demonstrate it. Because my belief, as one of my mentors, also Clive Roffey says, taking analysis is a visual game. You have to see the thing. That's how it is. And let me just do some honors and reference. This is the guy on YouTube. He has lots of content going back years and years. His name, Eric Muate. You can see I'm a subscriber. I get all the notification. 6 days ago, he posted this again. He has a full course almost on this RSI 50 crossing. I'm just going to spend inside 5 minutes just to demonstrate it. I'm not saying I did it. He came across up with it and I've learned a lot from him. So I would suggest you really go and check it up. I'm not one of his paid subscribers, so I don't know what paid subscribers get. I just get the freebies. So he's the guy who came up with this idea of the RSI 50 crossing, which I'm going to talk about. Here I'm just using the pound USD. I rarely trade currencies, but the principle applies anyway. And in his illustrations, Eric Motte uses the RSI 14, the standard one. I prefer to go with the 9 period one. That's my preference, but you still get the same results. So what am I talking about? I just pulled the 4-hour chart. And you can see in white here, I've included the 50 value for the RSI. Let me just make it bigger. So what I'm saying is whenever the RSI 50 crosses the 50 line, you get a big move in the Forex or in the stock or whatever you are looking at. That's what I'm going to demonstrate. I'm just going to pick on several situations where RSI is crossing the 50 line and see what happens. And after that, you'll be my judge. I'm just going to minimize. Oh, man. I did not clean up my spreadsheet. Okay, you'll see enough. But the key thing which I'm just doing is I'm throwing in a nugget there. All you have to do is, after watching this video, go and look at your charts. See it for yourself, and I hope you learn not to leave some money on the table. That's the way it is. Let's go. Here's the first crossing. There we are. Look at the candle which followed there. When we crossed the 50, big candle. Look around it. That was the biggest candle. The next 50 crossing, there we are. There's the big candle. After that 50 crossing, look around it, is the biggest candle there is there. There we are, it crossed there. There is the 50, that's the biggest candle around here. There we are, that's the biggest candle. Crossing 50 upwards, that's the biggest candle around there. Crossing 50, that's the biggest candle there. You can keep scrolling. We crossed upwards, big candle followed. Crossed downwards, big candle followed. Deep down, deep up, big candle followed. On the downside, it wasn't that much. We touched the 50 there. 2 big candles, red and black, because that's where it reversed. There we are. The next candle was huge. There we are. The next candles were huge. There we are. That's a big candle. I'm just illustrating it just for demonstration purposes so that you can go and check your own candles. Here we are. These are relatively small candles, but still bigger than what is next to it there. There we are. Big candle followed by an up move. On the downside, big candle followed. This is the 4-hour. I'll just go and change to the daily chart. Same principle applies. There we are. Big candle followed. There were lots of dodges around, but yeah, after crossing 50, you get the big candles. It touched. There's some big candles around the area. Touched. Big candles around the area. Huge candle. We touched there. Here the 50 was being used as a resistance. Big candle followed. Major crossing. Big candle followed. There we are. Big candle to the downside. There we are. This was a consolidation zone and we're just touching 50. Major crossing, big 2 candles followed. Major crossing, big candle followed. Big candle followed. That's the way it is. I've used the pound. Let me shift to Dow Jones, the AGX. Let's check the Dow Jones Industrial Average on the daily chart and see if this principle. I have to put in the 50 line again. Okay. Such a pain. But my point is relatively made. All I wanted was to illustrate that the 50 issue works, and from there you can take it on. There we have the 50 crossing. Big candle followed. 50 crossing, we had a major jump, even if it looks like a doji, but it was a major jump. There we are. There it is. Not looking that, and you can see it. This was a zone of consolidation, but when we had that crossing of the 50, there's the big candle. Crossing of the 50, there is the big candle following. Crossing of the 50, there is the big candle. Now I'm using the index. I started off using Forex. Major crossing, there are the big candles following. There's the, where's my 50? This is my 50. There's the major one. After that, major moves followed. Here's the consolidation. This was not a great one. Might just be because of the relative scale of the charts not coming out clearly. There we are. So I've illustrated my point. The nugget basically is simple. Whenever the RSI crosses the 50 line, expect a major move in the direction of the RSI. That's it. That's just that. And if you get around to look at it more closely, you will pick that the same principle can be used when RSI crosses the 30 and the 70 line. It's not, yeah, let's call it 30 and 70 for now, but it's more like 69.1 and 30 point something. Let's call it 30 and 70 for simplicity. There it is, it's crossing there. This one I won't demonstrate it that far. I'll just leave it for each one of you to go and check. After it crossed there, the next move was major. After it crossed there, that's the 70 line we are looking at. The next moves were major. From the bottom, it touched there. Look, where it touched around it, major moves, gaps. When it crossed there from the bottom in the 31, the next candles were major candles. On the downside, it crossed, look at that candle, gapped, big candle down, big candles going up, gap, big candle going up. So when using the RSI, don't just, please note when it crosses these major lines, the 50, so the 30, the 50, and the 70, there is always major moves That's not where to get out. That's where mainly to expect to make a killing in the market. That's just the nugget, guys. If you want to know more of those details, this is my man. It has helped me to know that when do I really make a killing in the markets? That's where I get to make a killing. Whenever RSI is approaching one of those three significant lines, I get ready for big payday. I've just put up the weekly chart. I'll be very quiet now. 30 line, here we are, here we are. You can tell from the bars, compare them around. Here we are, gap down, touching there we are gapping, guys. There we are, breaking up. Look at those candles. Look at those candles. It is what it is, guys. I can't give a mathematical explanation of it. I'm more like a driver in a car. I want to know that this car performs. The real engineering below the boot, bonnet, I really don't mind. So I'm not the guy who's going to go into the details of why it does it, but it does it. That I know. Here we are, it's crossing. Look at what followed. Here it is, it's crossing. Look at what happened. So this principle works. It's not a maybe or what. It's a nugget which you can use to better get your returns. Whenever RSI is about to cross one of those major lines, you know big payday is coming. That's where we call harvest time. You can give all the compliments to the man who did it. I just learned it from him and it's been greatly profitable. Colleagues, it's Tusanam PM Sebata. I thank you. I'm off. That was the nugget and it's been delivered.